Well, it's by the hush, my boys, and sure that's to hold your noise, and listen to poor Paddy's sad narration. I was by hunger pressed, and in poverty distressed, so I took a thought I'd leave the Irish nation. Here's to you, boys, now take my advice. To America I'll have yous not be comin'. There is nothing here but war, where the murdering cannons roar. And I wish I was at home in dear old Dublin.
We're standing here on the Gettysburg battlefield, in front of the monument dedicated to Father William Corby. Now, in 1863, on this great battlefield, Corby did something that will never be forgotten, especially by the men who served here, but hopefully now by a whole new generation of Americans. You see, 150 years ago, in 1863, Corby's men, the men of the Irish Brigade, were headed into battle. Now, Corby was an Army chaplain in the U.S. Army at the time, and he had been assigned to the Irish Brigade. A Holy Cross father from Notre Dame University, he joined at the age of only 28, and he would serve with the brigade throughout the war. What happened here? Father Corby's men were about to be called in. General Hancock's troops had been called to assist in a great emergency about 4:30 in the afternoon on the second day's fight. And there, on the 2nd of July, he stopped his men, knowing that they were about to go into another tremendous battle, similar to the maulings that they got at Antietam and at Fredericksburg the year before. He stopped his men, and knowing that many of them would die, he climbed up on a rock. He began to exhort the men and explain to them that their hour may well be at hand, and that they had a great duty to God. And he also admitted that he would not have time to hear their individual confessions. And for that reason, after extolling them and after telling them what he would do, he had the entire brigade kneel. Both Catholic and Protestants immediately fell prostrate on the ground. He gave them general absolution. And what was so important about this was not just what he did for his men, but what he did for the entire country. In that one moment, two generals, Mulholland and Zook, who saw this entire thing, said they had never seen anything like this anywhere in North America, and doubted that anyone else had either. That general absolution of Catholic soldiers was probably fairly common in Europe, but not here. They said they had never seen anything like it, and that they never saw such reverence, not only among the Catholic men, but among the Protestants in the brigade as well. Why is this important? It may be hard for us to believe in the year 2013, but there was a time when Catholics in America were not considered truly American. They were considered to be dedicated, or at least loyal, to a foreign potentate, a foreign ruler, emperor, because that's what the Pope was considered at the time. And the immigrants coming, who were of Catholic descent from Ireland and even from Germany, faced a great deal of prejudice. And it was the Civil War that began to really break that prejudice down. It was the clergy, it was the Catholic religious, and it was the faithful themselves that showed themselves to be truly American in every sense of the word, and truly Catholic in every sense of the word at the same time. So here at Gettysburg, if you can imagine the scene, astonished onlookers all the way up to the rank of general, seeing the reverence of an entire brigade of men, that would live indelibly in their memories. And because of it, they would eventually change the way Catholics are seen in America. What happened to Father Corby? Well, he would survive the war. He would eventually go back to Notre Dame. And in fact, he had many experiences that he would later write down in a book which he published shortly before his death in 1883. He wouldn't die until 1897, and he would always be remembered as an important part of the Union Army, and in fact an important part of the battle right here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And that's something every Catholic man should know. They should know Father William Corby.
Here's to you, boys, now take my advice. To America I'll have yous not be comin'. There is nothing here but war, where the murdering cannons roar, and I wish I was at home in dear old Dublin.